I wanted to share with all of you some of the interesting thoughts and ideas that were shared in Learning Experience 3. When discussing equity in reading assessment, some of the important ideas were that we need to keep equity in mind while assessing reading. Students need to be included in the assessment process, and we have chances to self-assess and be part of coming up with the success criteria. Also, a variety of assessment tools need to be used to target all of the students' needs in order to instill confidence in our students. What we teach and not just how we assess needs to be thought out carefully. The curriculum should be applicable to the real world, and we need to be aware of others' cultures, beliefs, interests, and opinions in order to engage all our students. Although not all parents support their child, we should still plan for involvement just in case they are able to do this. Finally, giving students numerous chances to demonstrate their understanding is crucial if we really want them to reach their full potential. This is why formative assessment must be part of the mix. When it comes to reading assessment and ELL learners, it's so important to begin with an English language proficiency assessment so that we know exactly where that student's knowledge of the English language lies. In working with ELL students, it is important to have visual aids and personal dictionaries so that they learn the language. Also, dual language books give them a chance to read in their own language while having the English there. Having ELL students in small group instruction can help them improve. Using different forms of assessment will give us a clear picture of these ELL students' abilities. We need to be open to modifying the ELL students' program and then evaluate them on their modified expectations. Then we can take the time to choose appropriate resources for each of them. Assessment throughout is crucial, as you mentioned, since the learners become more proficient in the language and they would need different supports along the way. Finally, it's not up to the ELL teachers to take full responsibility for these students. Classroom teachers should be familiar with the stages of development since they need to know how they can best support their ELL students. And here are some different ideas from the action plans and money points that you posted. Some diagnostic reading assessments that can be used are PMs, CASI, and DRAs. Other tools that have been used to see where students is at are conferencing, reviewing of OSRs, speaking to last year's teacher, and conducting reading interest surveys to target interests and engage those students. Some formative assessment tools to gauge where student is at during the teaching are anecdotal notes, observations, checklists, rubrics, check-in conferencing, and running records. We discussed that some different strategies that teachers can use to help move their struggling and reluctant readers ahead are to create a comfortable, inclusive learning environment. Conduct small group assessment, focusing on word work, taking words apart, word endings, word families, practicing high-frequency words at home with parents, picking books strategically, reading comprehension strategies, focusing on the easier ones to grasp, like making connections and visualizing. Allow for think time, pre-teach vocabulary, develop a home reading program, provide graphic organizers including a Go chart where students can share their thoughts before, during, and after reading. Have oral discussions before setting out to complete a task, and include drama activities to demonstrate understanding. More great strategies are to include technology, offer assignments in chunks, post anchor charts, provide personal dictionaries, utilize checklists, allow for think, pair, share, and give post-it notes to keep track of thinking. A couple of ideas that stood out from all of you were a little different ideas of looking at song lyrics and recipes. Those are real-life contexts that can engage students who are reluctant. Other ideas were to use Tumble Books and Starfall, which are great resources where students can practice their reading by listening to stories online and playing word games. Also, singing rhyming songs and playing rhyming bingo can be effective. Mostly, it is so important to provide positive encouragement, descriptive feedback, and recognize any small achievements. It would be crucial to utilize parent volunteers and peer tutors and to have collaborative discussions with other teachers to find out as many strategies as possible to help with the struggling reader. When thinking about the struggling reader or reluctant reader, it would be critical to offer accommodated assessments, a mix between oral, written, technology, etc. Many of the ideas that came through in the ELL action plans were quite similar to the struggling readers action plans. Some that I would add here are to introduce vocabulary through picture walks and picture dictionaries, computer programs to help with vocabulary, readers theater, a CD of vocabulary so the students can hear the words that they need to learn. Some of you also offered some great websites that can be amazing resources to teachers who have ELL students in their classrooms. I will post those in a final resource that I will be sharing with you at the end of the course. And here is a collage of all the pictures that you shared to represent how you see equity in reading assessment. You were all so thoughtful in how you explain how they represent this equity and all that you've learned in this course so far.